Check us out. Just the two of us. How are you?
I'm terrible.
Why?
Because you're on my panel.
Do you want me to leave?
No.
Do you want me to move out of Pick's box?
Nope. I want to argue with you. Can you actually have an argument, like a real political discussion? Do you have that capability? I don't know that I've ever seen it.
That's a little rude.
Well, you tend to go into a room and throw little snide comments here and there, but you don't really get deeply involved in any particular conversation.
Are you talking about a panel in particular? Because I was just on one with Farm Dad and couldn't get a word in. It was brutal.
Yeah, I know. I was listening. CTs. But you generally don't have like full-on conversations with people. You'll like I said, you'll throw a snide comment in. You'll have a couple.
I was trying to answer Omen's question yesterday. She wouldn't let me. That was so annoying. Got to admit it. Well, you don't have to admit it.
You and Dahl and her.
No, we have fun. We're the dream team.
All right. So why are you a conservative?
I didn't label myself as a conservative.
I labeled you as a conservative.
Well, I wouldn't label you. Don't you guys get so annoyed over that? The difference.
Why are you conservative?
What?
Why are you conservative?
I wouldn't define myself as a conservative.
Why are you whatever the fuck you define yourself as?
I would really consider myself more a libertarian.
That would be a conservative. There's a line in the middle of the political spectrum. That line tends to move. The Overton window tends to move, shift over time. Sometimes back and forth, sometimes one way, sometimes a whole long ways the other way. Doesn't really matter. There's still a middle. On the right side of that middle is conservative. On the left side of that middle is liberal. You can call yourself whatever you want. You're still going to sit on one side of that line or the other. You sit on the right side of that line.
I do, 100%.
So why are you conservative?
I feel that the left lacks common sense these days, if you want me to be completely honest. I don't really want to throw insults.
I didn't ask you why you hated the left. I asked you why.
No, but I really am more of a centrist. And if I'm going to lean one way or the other, it's going to be towards the one that's exhibiting the slightest bit more common sense.
You are not a centrist because you will not vote for liberals. You are a conservative. I'm asking you why you're a conservative.
Mojo, I voted for Hillary in 2016.
I think you're lying. Why are you conservative? Why is this so hard to answer?
I already did.
No, you didn't.
I just know every response you're going to come back with. I know when you're saying when I say I tend to agree with their fiscal policies a little bit more, you're going to say, well, then why is it every Republican president adds to the debt?
What are the fiscal policies of the conservative?
I don't really support as many. It's not that I don't support social programs, but I think that people need to want to get up and work for themselves and make money. I think we should help people, but not stifle their ability to grow and to eventually make something of themselves. You know what I mean?
You think poor people are stifled?
I think that when you give someone a hand for too long and too easily, that they can get comfortable and I'm not saying everyone who gets federal assistance is that way, but you have a tendency to not want to grow and change, if possible, change whatever got you in that situation. I don't think we've ever had a one-on-one. I'm a little nervous right now.
Don't be. But I'm curious. I mean, I'm glad you came up. I wanted to have a conversation with you one-on-one. You don't, like I said, you don't normally have conversations. Well, I don't think I've ever heard you have a full-on conversation.
Happy to have one with you.
Well, so...
And 69 other people.
So, you think that a poor person that's given food...
I didn't say
will
poor
be less likely... Okay, what do you talk
Just
about?
Someone who's given government assistance for too long.
Okay, so that would normally be a poor person, right?
Sure, yeah.
Well, who else would fit in that category? besides a poor person?
Disabled.
Okay. Also a poor person, right?
But a disabled person cannot change the situation that put them there.
How many rich disabled people are on government cheese?
If they'll get approved for something free, you don't think they'll take it?
Why would they? Why would they even ask?
That's what that's like saying, why would they use tax breaks?
Why would they even ask? Why would an actor? Why would Superman, Christopher Reeves? Why would he have asked for government assistance when he got in his accident? Do you think he asked for government assistance?
A made-up person?
Christopher Reeves. He played Superman. He was an actor. He got in a horse accident. He got in a horse riding accident. He broke his back.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
So I was like, wait, in Superman that happened?
No, not in.
I understand now. I was listening to you.
Okay, so in real life, he got in a horseback riding accident. He fell off the horse. He broke his back. He couldn't walk. He became a paraplegic, and he had to have round-the-clock care. He couldn't act anymore. He couldn't do anything else. And he ended up unaliving at a young age. But do you think, I mean, he was a very wealthy actor. So do you think that he ever asked for government assistance?
Probably. Probably not.
No.
I don't know.
He's got a whole shit ton of money.
He's
not gonna live forever.
You don't think the wealthy will take money when they can, regardless of if they need it or not, because they're not greedy. Everyone's greedy. Especially the wealthy.
But I don't think it has anything to do with greed. I think it has to do with the fact that they don't care about $500. You give somebody $1 billion, $500 is less than a penny to them.
Do I think a billionaire would apply for it? No. A millionaire, yes.
Man. Okay, so poor people. Again, poor people. You think poor people are discouraged by getting fed?
Not necessarily fed, but when you get housing, just for too long. I'm not against giving it, but I'm against giving it to the point where it's become just a way of life that someone's accepted.
If we offer free food and a free apartment for as long as you need it, you think that there will be a specific number of people that will refuse to work ever again in their life?
Yes, I do.
That's crazy. What makes you think that?
Human behavior.
What do you mean by human behavior?
Everyone's different. Everyone's wired differently. I feel that there are some people amongst us who, if given the opportunity to live for free, would take it.
What would they do instead? What would they do with their time? Why would they wake up in the morning?
Some people don't necessarily feel the need to have a purpose for living, is something I've come across in my life.
Oh, okay, that's not what I asked. What would they do? Why would they wake up in the morning?
What is their purpose of life, are you asking me?
I am asking you why they would wake up in the morning and how they would spend their day. If they have free food and shelter for the rest of their lives and you think that they don't want to work, what would they do instead?
Get elevated? I have no idea.
So you honestly think...
TikTok? I don't know.
You realize that being on TikTok is work for a lot of people, right?
That was a joke, Mojo. I meant this.
No, none of this is a joke. You are physically incapable of having a normal human conversation.
I certainly am.
I mean, I understand you're nervous. I get it. I don't know why, because you've done this a million times before. But there's no reason to joke there. I'm asking you a simple question. I'm not sure why you won't answer it.
I don't know because it sounds like you're asking me what they would do, like why they would wake up in the morning, almost as if it's their purpose of living. I don't know. I honestly,
people don't just like open their eyes and then go back to sleep, or open their eyes and just lay in bed all day. They get up and they do things. I'm asking you what you think they would do.
I think that they would probably work some sort of job that does not...
Wait, you just said they wouldn't work. If they were given food and shelter, you said they wouldn't work.
Other than... not all people need.
Okay, you're cutting out real bad. You're cutting out. Oh, Robot Theo. Hello? That sucks. This is awfully convenient. Are you gone, Theo? I can't understand a damn thing you're saying.
Oh, sorry. I'm in a storm, so it's going to go in and out. I actually just got. Oh, here we go. I lost the bars. What do you want to talk about next? Since this is now a test if I can have a conversation or not.
I just missed everything you just said. So you said that they would.
I wasn't saying. Work, I'm trying to be careful with my words because I don't want to insult anyone, but I don't, they would work a low level job. Everyone has to do something with their time. Didn't we already establish?
I didn't establish anything with you. You seem to think that they would just lay there or they get elevated or something. I don't know. You haven't established anything. I never
said lay there, but I did say get elevated.
Yeah, you haven't established anything. You haven't told me what you think they would do until now. And you told me that it wouldn't work.
Different people would do different things. You can't categorize everyone into one box, or people who do this or people who do that.
Okay, so somebody that has their food and shelter paid for and taken care of for the rest of their life will do things. They will either get a job, they will get a high-paying job or a low-paying job or whatever kind of job they can take. Or they will do other things. What other things do you think they might do?
Have a hobby?
Yeah. Like, I don't know, what? Knitting?
Hold on one second.
Do you think they'd sell their products that they make? Do you think they'd become an entrepreneur from that point? Start an Etsy shop?
I would hope so that they could get out of the situation they're in.
See, I think you were mistaken in the initial notion that you had that somebody that's on government assistance for too long will not do anything and will not even try and find a job or will just accept their role. I think you were mistaken, and I think you've just proven that you were mistaken. They will work. Every single one of them will work. Every single one of them will fill their days and their time with something meaningful, something that they enjoy, something that they want to do. Or they'll work.
I really hope that. I'm losing a little bit of faith in humanity. So I really hope that that's true.
You just explained that's what they would do.
I said different people would do different things.
Yes, but they'd all do something. They wouldn't just sit there.
Well, it's do something productive that is the question. And define productive.
Exactly.
In this context, productive to me would be doing something that would generate additional income to get themselves out of the situation they're in.
Well, if they don't need income.
But everyone need income.
If they don't
room
need
and board isn't just, your whole life isn't just room and board.
Oh, so there are other things that people would want besides just food and shelter.
Yes.
See, now we're getting somewhere. Now we understand that humans will actually seek out more things. They will seek out more satisfactions and more happiness and more good in one way, shape, or form. And they will work toward getting that, whatever it means to them, and however they can get it. Whether it means making money, or sewing sweaters for the homeless people.
I hope so. I hope so.
Well, no, they're all going to do it. You just said they would all do it. They would all do something.
They would all do something, but would they do something productive? I don't think 100% would.
What would they do that's not productive?
Schmugs, idle hands.
You think that they would do schmugs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week,
Maybe
365 days a year?
5%. I don't know.
Like never stop. There would just always be constantly elevated.
Maybe it's possible. People do that.
Do you really think that's possible?
Yeah, people who do that who aren't on government assistance.
Do you think that they accomplish nothing while they're doing that?
I know people who literally accomplish nothing.
They would literally just sit there on the couch like a rock.
Sometimes move to the bed.
How long do you think a person would live like that?
It depends how much income they could generate without doing anything.
Oh, what do you mean? We're not talking about income here. They already have their food and shelter paid for.
We kind of are talking about people who do that at this point.
Well, no, you said there are people that wouldn't do that. They would just sit there and get elevated all day, every day, and do nothing else.
Yes, I just said that.
Okay, so
there are people who would do lots of things. Working and being productive is one of them.
But you said there were people that would do nothing. They would do nothing but
I didn't say the majority.
Elevated.
I said there are some people. Maybe.
Yeah, so how many? What would they do? What
How
would
would
that
I know how
person do?
many?
What would that person do besides just get elevated?
Eat? I don't know. I didn't say the majority.
I didn't ask you about the majority. I asked you about one fucking person. The person in your head that you're imagining is going to get elevated 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What would they do other
Or
than
something
that?
else. Maybe they would go to the park.
And just sit there at the park?
Go for a walk.
How often can they do that? And can they do that 24 hours a day? Do you understand how ridiculous everything that you're saying is?
I don't think it is that ridiculous, to be completely honest.
People will do things because we are human beings and we have desires and we enjoy doing things. We're not just going to sit there and do nothing. Even if we choose to get elevated, we're still going to do things. We're still going to cook. We're still going to garden. We're still going to talk to people. We're still going to help other people. We are still going to go to the park. We're going to walk dogs. We're going to do whatever. We're going to live life, even if we are just getting elevated. We're going to live life, even if we have our food and shelter paid for. And in that time, we are going to produce things. We are going to produce services and goods. And we're going to share those services and goods, and we might be able to make money off of sharing those goods and services. Everybody's going to do that. There is not a single person on the face of the planet that is alive that will not do that.
I've been a little disappointed in humanity lately, so I hope you're right.
There is no hope. This is just
There
a
is
reality.
hope.
You have shown it. You have shown it by giving me examples of what you think these people are. You have shown. You have shown me this
under a bunch of different circumstances.
You have shown me this through your description of what somebody might do in a day. You have shown me that you believe what I'm saying is true.
Parts of it, yeah.
All of it.
No, parts of it.
You haven't disagreed with anything I've said here.
I mean, the question started, why am I on the right?
Yeah. And you said because you said because people that get too much free stuff for too long will accomplish nothing. And that's how we started down this path.
One of the reasons I feel that government assistance with some of the social programs were getting a little far.
I'm not sure what you mean by getting a little far.
A lot of money was being spent. I'm not sure it was helping people.
How do you know it wasn't helping people? What makes you think that it wasn't helping people?
Because, and the problem keeps getting larger and larger. Maybe you actually need to get to the solution instead of trying to fix the problem with money.
Which problem gets all the money in the world?
Like the housing crisis. Like the housing crisis. How the cost of living has gone up. How the cost of living has gone up.
Why can't you listen to what I'm going to say?
Well, I thought we were having a conversation.
You didn't even let me finish a fucking statement. That's not a conversation, is it?
Finish your statement. Sorry.
This is why I think you have such a hard time on panels. This is why I think you have such a hard time speaking in conversational styles. Because you can't stand. I almost feel.
I'm listening to what you're saying.
So you said, well, no, I'm not even sure what you said, but you said we gave out too much money and we accomplished nothing. So I'm asking you why you think we've accomplished nothing with the money that we gave out.
Because the problem's getting bigger.
Which problem?
The cost of living continues to go up while salaries and wages are not increasing. The cost of living.
Wait. Salaries and wages are increasing and the cost of living will always go up. That's a result of capitalism. That's a necessary result of capitalism.
Are you saying that they're going up equally?
By the end of Biden's term, yes. As a matter of fact, our wages were rising quicker than inflation by the end of Biden's term.
I'm not 100% sure that's true, but okay, I'll believe you.
I guarantee you it's true. So wages are going up and the cost of living is going up. The cost of living will always go up and wages will always go up to meet that cost of living. That's the way capitalism works. It has to work that way. Otherwise. So now what makes you think that we're getting worse?
I've listened to everyday Americans and their stories, and people didn't seem to feel that it was getting better for them. I know personally it was not. I didn't like what I saw.
What didn't you like?
The cost of gas, the cost of gas. I don't really buy eggs, so I'm not going to say eggs, but I will say it's $15 less to fill up my tank now than it was a year ago.
How often do you fill up your tank?
Like once every, probably 10 days.
Once every 10 days.
I don't really drive a lot.
Once every 10 days.
Give or take.
365. So that's 35. 35 times 15, that's 350, and 175, that's $425 a year. Do you think $425 a year is going to make or break you?
No, but it's nice to see the number when I fill up my tank to be a little bit less. Is that not fair to say?
Okay, so it doesn't have to be feeling. The fact doesn't matter. It's just the feeling.
No, the fact of the matter is I'm paying $15 less to fill up my tank. What's wrong with being happy about that?
Because it's just a feeling, the happy feeling that you get out of it. You get some sort of elation out of paying less than you did last time.
But the fact is I'm paying less.
Okay, well, let's try this then. Why don't you start filling up your car when you're at half a tank? Because then you can be happy all the time. Because you'll be paying less.
Happiness would be the same. It would be the same price. It would be less for a half tank than it would have a year ago. That's the point.
No.
Yes.
I'm not telling you to fill up your half tank and compare it to what you paid for a full tank last year. I'm just saying fill up your tank fill up at half of a tank of gas and you'll be paying less than you did last year at this particular point in time. And that'll make you happy, right?
I would still be paying.
It's just about paying less.
I would still be paying less.
No. Yeah,
than I would be for a half. You don't think I've ever stopped at the gas station and fill up a half tank of gas?
Yeah. So you'll be paying less than when you fill up when it's empty.
To go fill up my gas tank.
Yeah, so you'd be paying less than you would if you filled up when it was empty. And that would make you happy, right?
Yeah, but I'm paying for quantity. It's the amount of gallons I'm paying for is less. It's not, I'm paying less for gas when I get it.
You're paying less, though. You're still paying less.
All right.
Putting less money out of your pocket.
You're telling me that this is a conversation?
Yeah, because I'm telling you that you have a
No,
skewed
you're
view.
telling me.
I'm telling you have a skewed view of the world, is what I'm telling you.
I'm not
I'm telling you that the
denying
cost of
though.
gas doesn't affect your life in
I think that
hardly any way at all, short
I
of
think
just making you happy.
my views on the world are going to be different than your views on the world, that are going to be different than anyone else's views on the world. That's humanity.
I didn't say there wouldn't be.
So it's not that I have a skewed perspective, but I definitely have a different perspective than you, and that's fine.
I think your perspective is skewed.
In your opinion.
I think it's skewed by negativity that you have built in how you were raised and who you hung around with.
Most of my friends are liberal. Most of my family is liberal. So it's not that I have a skewed view on the world, or it doesn't have to be negative. It's not negativity.
I know everything's about feelings. You want to be happy. You want to be happy.
Doesn't everyone?
I get it. I don't know.
But isn't that the point?
I'm just talking about you. You just want to be happy. You want to do something or vote for someone that makes you feel happy.
Voting for Trump didn't make me feel happy, but I still feel I made the better decision than the alternative. I didn't like my options.
You understand that the president has almost nothing to do with the price of gas, right?
We've gone over this, but you do understand I'm not someone who claims to be like, MAGA, yeah, Trump, whatever he does, I'm going to 10 toes down to support him. I didn't like the other option.
You understand that the president has almost nothing to do with the price of gas, right?
Sure.
Okay. So when
we've gone through this, I understand that.
So when you say that you voted because of the price of gas, you realize that didn't matter, right?
I don't think I said I voted because of the price of gas. I said I was happy about the.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. You said the system's failing and the system's falling apart because too many people are getting too much free shit, and the price of gas is one of those things.
No one's getting free gas. I'd like some though.
Oh my God.
You asked me why I'm a conservative.
I did, and you haven't given me anything.
I'm trying to give you a bunch of things. You're just
picking
every single one of them apart to prove them wrong instead of just letting me say a bunch of reasons and then at least be like, you're a fucking idiot. Cool.
Yeah, well, see, I'm not going to attack a gish gallop.
What?
I'm not going to let you name 20 things and then pick 2 or 3 things out and prove those wrong and then have you say at the end, well, what about these other 18 things? Now I got to go back and prove the other 18 things wrong. And then you're going to say, what about these next 20 things? And that's what a gish gallop is. You're providing so much information that I have to address that if I don't address one thing, you can say that I failed in the process of addressing them all. That's a gish gallop. And that doesn't work in a normal human interaction. That's why I'm trying to address one thing at a time. But do you think that if you and I had a conversation for an unlimited period of time, that I could address every issue that you could possibly imagine, and I could probably think that might be true?
Yeah, I would say you could probably prove me wrong on a couple things. I wouldn't say everything.
No? Well, let's do it then.
If you want to do it on a phone call, fine, but I'm just reading the comments, and I'd prefer not, to be honest. But if you want to do it on a Discord call, anytime. I'm not going to sit here one-on-one with you for everyone to talk about my morality. It's bullshit.
Okay, now you're just worried about what people think of you, and that's kind of crazy.
Well, did you not think that this whole time?
No, I don't care what people think of me.
Well, I already acknowledged I do.
Okay. Well,